So, hello everybody. My name is Marie Holler. I'm working for a NGO, so-called Netzwerk Blühende Landschaft in German. You may translate it as Network for Flowering Landscape in English. And talking about flowering the landscape, our topic for this poster is blooming landscapes, our biodiverse carbon reservoir, which I want to present to you. As we all know, biodiversity loss is an even greater threat than climate change. But biodiversity itself can also be the key component to reduce climate gas emissions and even extract carbon from the atmosphere into the soil. So, what is the most powerful process to capture CO2 from the atmosphere? The natural one. Right, it's photosynthesis. So let's use that. We need healthy and species-rich open landscapes to take CO2 out of the atmosphere. And we need healthy ecosystems. These healthy ecosystems also need plant diversity. And plants, of course, need pollinators and healthy soils to develop and to bloom in the end. So what we want is stronger flowers and crops. So have a look at the first part of the poster, healthy soil, healthy plants. As you all know, nutrient-loaded biochar increases the formation of nutrient-rich humus, which is one of the most important factors for plant growth. And it also increases the water-binding capacity of the soil, resulting in less drought stress. So in order to get strong growing plants, we can use the nutrient-loaded biochar to help them so the plants can defend themselves better against parasites and pests, for example. As the plants are in the end less vulnerable, they have less infestations, and this results in less pesticide use, which is good for the farmer's economy as well as for ecological benefits. So it's a benefit for the pollinators and also for the crops. So the humus formation for itself, supported by nutrient-loaded biochar, is in the end a benefit for the crop, but also for the pollinators, which get stronger plants here, and for example, a continuous nectar flow due to the sufficient soil moisture. And when we have a look at the right side, you can see a graph here where you have the more nutrients you have in soil, the less diversity you get, plant diversity you get. Why is that? These plants over here need quite a lot of nutrients, but they also suppress quite a lot of other species. So growing really fast and taking all the nutrients for themselves, so quite selfish. They can live with less nutrients, and they're not that much competitive as these guys over here. So with the low nutrient levels, the soil can be home to a broad range of low nutrient demanding plants. And if we get pure biochar into the ground, it absorbs nutrients in the soil. So we can create a sort of low nutrient soil here by using pure biochar. And of course, when we have quite a higher diversity of plants here, they will attract a diverse selection of pollinators as well, which we want to have in the end. So less nutrients leads us to more biodiversity, and plant and insect biodiversity for themselves lead to healthy and species-rich landscapes, which are our reliable and self-enforcing carbon reservoir. Let's turn to the second part of the poster. to get the view, to spot the landscape as it is. We made a little picture puzzle for you to demonstrate that. And I just want to show you 4 cases how to support a flowering landscape through using biochar. The first one I want to present you is landscape management. As you know, or as we just talked about, cropland needs fertilized soil. However, biodiverse green spaces for pollination, they profit from low nutrient soil conditions, as we've seen in the graph just before. So what about combining these claims? So we have wood and grass cuttings, branch and shrub trimmings from the green space maintenance, and they contain a bunch of nutrients. So these cut materials can be pyrolized and exported from the green spaces to the cropland. If you manage to do this in a regional transfer, manage to do a regional transfer of the pyrolized cut material, it helps to fertilize agriculture areas nearby and maintains the low nutrient biodiverse and flowering green spaces, and all this at a local scale. The second case is the agricultural use. As we've seen, we have nutrient-loaded biochar that can be placed as an exact fertilizer, for example, into the root zone of the plants. This allows a maximum plant growth with a minimum of fertilizer. It prevents excessive fertilizer drift to the groundwater and avoids the nutrient oversupply in the grassland, and of course also in biodiverse ecosystems. So we have an advantage here. And second, we can promote flowering areas with pure biochar, which is used to absorb the nutrients temporarily straight from the soil. And these nutrient-poor soil yield then potential for more biodiversity. So we have these both cases we can make use of in agriculture use: precise fertilization, improving crops and ecosystems for themselves. The third place, we have livestock farming. So using biochar in the stable strengthens the animal digestion, for example. As you know, it improves health of the hooves, reduces barn odor gases, for example. And these healthy animals themselves ensure a good, sustainable grazing system. And while they're doing their grazing, they also support a flowering landscape management in their way. So livestock farming is also a possibility to flower the landscape through the animal welfare. And last but not least, we have all the possibility to explore biochar ourselves through a planting bed. So whether you're planting flowering herbs, you want to plant sustaining vegetables or local perennials, everyone can explore and learn about biochar with their own plant bed. So in this case, we can support multipliers such as schools and beekeepers, which get involved, which get excited and empowered about the topics, biochar topics such as composting, and they also try their hand at pyrolysis production for themselves. This is why we gave birth to a project named Klimabeet. Apologies, it's just a website in German, but you can find it here: www.klimabeet.de. So have a look at that to view how to explore, learn, and empower people with their own planting bed, including biochar. So these are just some examples. Find out more about our projects, how to engage for climate and biodiversity with your donation, for example. If you want to have a look at the following link, you may have a look at klimapate.org to view about this project. Thank you so much for listening. Have a very nice day at the conference.